Cape Cod Broadcasting weaves the listening environments of 99.9 WQRC, Ocean 104.7, WFCC Classical 107.5, Cape Country 104, and CapeCon.com's website experience to reflect the lifestyles of the people who live, work, and play on Cape Cod. We hope that you enjoy this podcast.
Welcome into the Sunday Journal. I'm your host, Matt Pitta. Thanks for being with us today. We get together each week to talk about issues that are facing Cape Cod, the islands, and all of southeastern Massachusetts. Welcome into the Sunday Journal. Today, we're going to be talking about an important event coming up and an organization here on Cape Cod that is very involved in helping out our veterans. Cape Cod Veterans Incorporated is gearing up for a major fundraiser dedicated to the Walter Reed Society for their outstanding assistance to wounded heroes and their families at the Walter Reed Army Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland. And coming in studio to talk about their organization and what this event is coming up on November 8th, just a short couple of weeks or so from now, is Riehle. Richie is the Chief of Staff, right? Richie, the formal title for Cape Cod Veterans, Chief Cook and Bottle Watcher and everything, right? Welcome in. Glad to have you here. Thanks for being here today. Thanks so much.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting us here to talk about a very important event we have. And I just want to give a little overview of Cape Cod Veterans. We're a 501c3 public charity, registered with the state of Massachusetts and the Attorney General. And we've been operating on the Cape now for many years, but we incorporated differently, become a public charity 3 years ago, and we've, what I think, been doing fantastic work where there's a void of helping veterans in our community, such as putting roofs on buildings, clearing land and repairing homes, immediately responding to veterans' need, and working very closely with the Counseling Readjustment Center, the Veterans Administration on West Main Street, right down the street.
Let's also introduce, thank you, Richie. Let's also introduce Paul Glynn. Paul, you are the Vice President of the organization, right?
I am. I've been involved with the organization now for 4 years, so I'm the young kid on the block.
The young kid on the block. Tell me how you got involved, Paul.
Well, I retired from working for a large company up in Billerica, and I always vacationed down here on the Cape, and this was the logical choice to come down here, and I bought a house and fixed it up, and I wanted something to do. I'm a veteran. I'm also in the VFW, and I just found myself in a position where I could help give back a little bit to veterans in the community, so I joined.
Now, Bill, I have to just tell you, not to get off topic, but Billerica, they're kind of my competition. I grew up in Chelmsford, so Chelmsford Lions, Billerica Indians, we always used to compete with each other. So.
I lived in North Chelmsford, Oak.
I bet we know the same.
Scotty Hollow. Hollow.
I know exactly where that is.
Okay.
We'll have to talk off air. We probably know a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
You lived in Chelmsford for a while.
Yeah.
Well, welcome in, Paul. It's good to have you here as well.
Thank you.
And again, we're going to talk about this event that's coming up. It is a fundraiser on November 8th at the Cape Cod Irish Village in Yarmouth that's dedicated to the Walter Reed Society for their outstanding assistance, as we said, with wounded heroes and their families at the Walter Reed Army Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland. So we're going to talk about that event in just a minute, but I want to spend a little bit more time, guys, talking about what Cape Cod Veterans is all about. The organization, how did it get underway? How did this start? I know you guys have been around for a while. I remember when you guys started. So who wants to take that question? Richie, you're looking at me, so it looks like you're going to get that question.
Well, we got involved with Walter Reed many years ago, and one of our members from Hyannis, a severely wounded paratrooper, Vincent Mannion Brodeur, who was in a coma for a year and 2 years in rehabilitation after a severe traumatic brain injury suffered in Iraq. And we go down every year at least once, and we get down there and we hand out $1,500 TD Bank gift cards to wounded troops. It's scaled back a lot because, thank God, we're not seeing the type of wounded we did years ago. And we became very closely involved with the Walter Reed Society. They operate within the building where the wounded troops are housed and during their recovery. And we became attached with them very closely because they're a public charity like us. And in the bylaws of the Cape Cod Veterans veterans, we're not allowed to receive compensation for any travel, hotels, meals, or any other related activities taking veterans to hospitals, which we do down here. And the Walter Reed Society is a national society, and I urge people to look at their site. And they have one part-time secretary of $24,000 a year. Everybody in that organization and the board members receive no money like we do for their travel. Although we will pay for their travel up here and their stay on the Cape when they're here, we are taking care of that. And also we're bringing a special guest up from Walter Reed, the doctor that saved Corporal Vincent Manuel Brodor's life. He's the foremost neurosurgeon, and when deployed to Iraq with his medical team, saved the lives of over 1,000 soldiers and civilians, performing brain surgeries there and at Walter Reed. And he's one of the foremost doctors in that field, and now he's a retired colonel. He's teaching at medical facilities now, neurosurgery.
All right, so the money you're going to be raising on the 8th is going to be going towards Walter Reed. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Paul, let me bring you back in, talk a little bit about the organization. Let's get into some of the details about what Cape Cod Veterans does. I've been involved with some activities with you guys, but give me an overview. Tell me what you guys are doing, how you guys came about, how did Cape Cod Vets come about, and what you guys are all about.
Okay, Cape Cod Vets, well, a lot of us came from the VFW, and we felt a need for another group to encompass veterans that didn't go overseas and serve, and then spouses of veterans and just the general public who feels a need for getting out there and helping Cape-wide veterans. So this group is open to anyone that has a desire to help veterans and their families. So it's all encompassing. Another good thing is we're not a national organization, so we don't have a big weighty
a lot of overhead, things like that. Yeah,
large overhead and so forth. So we can make decisions very quickly. Usually 2 or 3 of us will get together when we hear of something that needs to be done, and then we make a decision within hours and appropriate the necessary funds and activities. So forth. And larger items we would put before the whole group.
You've had a lot of success stories. I've seen you guys do a lot of work. Let's talk about some. It's important, I think, for people to know that. Tell me about some of the things you've been doing over the years, people you've helped, how you've helped them. I remember one of your colleagues, Terry, telling me that you get a call one day from a vet, his furnace is furnace or hot water heater was out, and you guys just jumped into action. So tell me some of those great stories that you guys have been involved in.
Well, that's true. Let's see. One of them, there was a vet up in Hyannis who had the nastiest house on the street, and the neighbors were getting a little bit ticked off about how shabby it looked. So we got together with the Barnstable Sheriff's Office, and we provided all the food and the drinks, and we did the running around for hardware and what have you. And then the Barnstable Sheriff's Department provided the labor through the convict labor pool. And Nauset Disposal donated 4 dumpsters. We actually took out 3 or 4 40-yard dumpsters of material from the front yard alone and tore off the porch. We had to replace windows, porches, decking, so forth. So we really did a very nice rehab of this house and yard, and that was just one thing. We've also there was another vet that she was getting ready to be deployed, but her car didn't pass state inspection. So we heard about that. We took the car, we put 4 brand new tires on it, so forth. And then our financial officer, Scotty, who's also a mechanic, he took the car and gave it a tune-up, put a couple of oxygen sensors in it and changed the oil and so forth. And then she was able to get the car inspected and passed, and now she was successfully deployed, and she doesn't have to worry about her car being left out on the street or what have you. It's on base, it's secure, and it's just one less thing to worry about.
So it sounds like your organization, the Cape Cod Veterans Inc., that you can really kind of mobilize very quickly. So again, I referred to that story. I think it was Terry told me that a guy, his furnace went out or his boiler went out, and you got some people together and literally had a boiler in for him or a hot water tank in for him a couple hours later. How does that make a difference to the vets? Because unfortunately, so many times they deal with it in the opposite way. I see with it. My dad's a veteran. I've seen some of the the red tape you have to go through, and some of the organizations, not local organizations, but if you're trying to get assistance with the feds or things like that, it takes months, years to get anything done. You guys make things happen within hours sometimes.
That's correct. There's no bureaucracy. We can make decisions, within hours and have a plan of action put into place.
Have you seen over the past couple of years, because guys like yourself, Vietnam, you're both Vietnam era vets, right?
Yes.
For the most part, and so we're seeing the new wave of vets now, the Mideast, Iraq, Afghanistan vets now. So are you seeing even more an increase in interest in your organization as the years go by since you first formed, because so many of those men and women are now coming home from Iraq and Afghanistan? Is there increased interest in that? Rich, you're shaking your head there.
One of the luxuries we have is we work directly with the Veterans Administration on West Main Street, right down the street, and they vet the individual to make sure he's a veteran. And I'll give you one instance. July, we had a 93-year-old veteran on C Street who just returned from the hospital. He was on oxygen. His air conditioner broke. There were two ladies up there that lived in a building with him, and unfortunately the VA has no money. They can't give veterans money. No matter how good the cause is, how needy he is, they rely on us. They call us immediately, and Jocelyn Howard down there, she runs the VA center down there. They had the woman there. I talked to her. I explained to her who we are. She said, this is what he has, no air conditioning. He's on oxygen. It was the hottest day in July. So I said, someone will be there. All I needed you to do is give me the size of the air conditioner. I put it out as a flash email to my people. Within 5 minutes, 13 people responded, and one person was in Hyannis. He stopped in Home Depot. I know the manager over there. They've helped us numerous times. He took half off the air conditioner, and within 2 hours, Paul and Terry Glenn and Butch Bannis of the organization was over there, had the air conditioner installed, was sitting with the individual. We have a very wonderful letter from the woman that contacted us, and that's how we react very quickly. The week after that, it was a young woman from Harwich who needed rent money. She had two babies, and a fiance was laid off. And both organizations, we work very closely with the VFW 10274, which we are officers of also. And that woman now we're trying to get an apartment for. So that we have a quorum very quickly. We can get a quorum together. And that's what makes us a little bit unique than the traditional veterans organizations that have to wait for a monthly meeting. And being able to react so fast, the veteran knows he or she's going to get help.
Mm-hmm. If you're just joining us today on the Sunday Journal, we're talking with Richie Riehle and Paul Glynn, both from Cape Cod Veterans Inc. They've got a big fundraiser coming up on November 8th. Now let's get into that in the second half that we have here in a few moments. Richie, let's recap what's going to be happening on November 8th at the Cape Cod Irish Village.
Well, we're bringing a Walter Reed Society up that we're going to honor. And also our special guest is Dr. Colonel Armando. He saved over 1,000 troops. He's a brain specialist, and he's doing I believe he's working at Johns Hopkins University now. They're doing brain mapping to find out how they can better serve these young men and women who have traumatic brain injuries from these IEDs in Iraq and Afghanistan. And what's unique about this also is that what usually happens in the military is transferred over to the civilian to help civilians. And it's happened so many times that we see that. The improvements in our daily lives and civilian hospitals come from the military. And this man has saved so many lives, and we're going to honor him Congressman Keating will be there. Tim Whalen will be there. Dan Wolf will be there. The Secretary of Veterans Affairs from Massachusetts will be there. We're honoring some other people, such as the Boston Wounded Vets Run for what they do. There'll be the wonderful organizations from the Cape, such as Cape Cod Cares for the Troops and the Falmouth Military Support and the Jones Foundation. They're invited. Hopefully they'll come. So the Gold Star families, some of them been invited. And this is an event to thank those people that care for our wounded troops. Many of them from Massachusetts. And I'll tell you a little funny story. We met a woman 2 months ago in BJ's, and we were talking to the person at the desk, and she saw our shirts, and she said, "You gave my son TD Bank gift cards, and he has your coin and your hat. He was wounded in Walter Reed." And that's several we met on the Cape already, and that really makes us feel good.
Walter Reed is such an amazing facility. I have not had the ability or privilege to go there. I'd love to someday to, look at it myself. But the work that's being done there is amazing for the men and women that come back who are injured, isn't it? It's amazing.
It is. It is.
And obviously, so the money you're raising is going to be going towards their nonprofit that helps to fund activities at Walter Reed.
That's correct. We've been out on the streets getting the local businesses to give us donations in the form of items that we could raffle off at $1 a chance, and then we have the larger items. We will have a live auction, and it's through the generosity of Cape businesses that we were able to put on these events and raise money and spend it the way we do.
Richard? I just want to single out one individual. Terry O'Donnell from the Sand Dollar Bar and Grill has raised over $50,000 for us in the last 3 years. It's amazing.
Yeah. What do people need to know? Just show up on the 8th? Do they need to call ahead? Reservations? You can just show up on the 8th.
They can go to our website, CapeCodVeterans.org. If they'd like to make a donation, and all funds raised that day will go to the Walter Reed Society. They can mail it to our address, P.O. Box 81 in Dennisport, 02639. Please make the check out to Walter Reed Society, or they can go on our website and donate through PayPal. Also, on our website, there's a link there. Also, we do so much work with organizations like Spalding Rehab. Mm-hmm. Last month, we brought a whole group of 42 down for a fishing trip we do several times a year. And it's more than just helping elderly veterans. We help the young veterans coming back with all sorts of benefits. Right now, we're in the process of trying to get a car for an elderly veteran.
Sounds good. Check it out at CapeCodVeterans.org. Richie Riehle, we like to call you Richie Riehle, and Paul Glynn from Cape Cod Veterans. The event is November 8th at the Cape Cod Irish Village. Help them out, $10 for a great cause. Thanks to both of you for coming by today. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you there.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
And thanks for being with us today on the Sunday Journal.
This podcast is a presentation of Cape Cod Broadcasting, which is solely responsible for its content. Thank you for listening. For more information, please visit us at CapeCodBroadcasting.com.